Hello? Okay. This is my talk. I'm from Framework. I will talk about why we sell a laptop, an empty laptop without a mainboard inside. A laptop that you cannot use, that does not do anything. Yes, I am Daniel. I work at Framework. I live in Taiwan. I do software, firmware, anything code related at Framework. Framework, we're a new small computer company, just 5 years old. We're just about 80 people, mostly in the USA and in Taiwan. Here we do most of the engineering, and the factory is here. SMT is here in Taoyuan. And we're trying, just like with RISC-V, we're trying to also change the industry to make the hardware more friendly to users. Last year, we had only 2 products. We had just the Framework 13 that I see a lot of people have in the room. And we just came out with the Framework 16 last year, which is bigger, has also a GPU, and easily exchangeable keyboard that runs open source firmware, QMK on the keyboard. This year we have 2 more products, Framework 12, which is smaller, lighter, cheaper, very durable, made of plastic with rubber, and has a touchscreen, stylus, and also a small desktop that's super powerful and can run games and local AI. And you can see it downstairs. But just for the size comparison. And the main topic is this. So on our website, you can buy an empty laptop.
This is expensive. That's Taiwan dollar.
Yeah, of course. Well, let's first talk about what we do. Like, we make repairable. We always say repairable laptops. Why is that important? Like, if you buy a MacBook, it's screwed and glued together. It's very hard to open, and if something breaks, you basically have to pay Apple a lot of money. We want users to figure out themselves, to be able to. You don't have to. You can send it back to support, but a lot of issues are easy to diagnose yourself. Or if something small breaks, you can just, if the screen breaks on a Framework, if your cat chews on it, you can, there's no need to have a big expensive fix. You just buy a new screen. It's 4 screws, anybody can do it. And we have guides for everything. Yeah, it saves everybody money, it saves the planet, and it's a good idea in general.
And you know the record is a 10 years old girl, my daughter, using 5 minutes to swap motherboard. So you guys can.
5 minutes is good. I can do 4 minutes. Yeah, so we publish a lot of guides to help people. Every part has a QR code to help you find out how to exchange it. And we also have a good support. If people have problems, we help them. And we also host a forum where our users can discuss ideas and help each other, and we help them too. Every single part is user serviceable. There's nothing glued in. Anything you can replace yourself, or if not, you can send it back or ask somebody else to help. And every single part you can buy from us. So maybe people replace the battery on their HP, but often you can only buy it from some aftermarket, some shady websites. Yeah, even the mainboard, display, keyboard, screws. We even sell screws. You can buy a bag of screws or hinges. We have a stronger hinge. If you like your screen to bend more strongly, you can buy that. And we publish some limited schematics, but to many repair shops, they can get the full schematic to repair it, repair even the traces on the mainboard. Yeah, like I said, nothing is glued in, especially not the battery. Screws for everything, and most of the screws, they even stay in. You can't lose them, they don't fall out. And if you buy the laptop, you get a screwdriver with it.
Yeah, I suggest you guys go down to the pool and try to break.
Yeah, and if you do lose some of the screws, there are extra screws in the case. Right, instead of glue, we have a lot of magnets, so it holds together by itself. And the connectors, like he said, you can try to break it. If you want, you can break it, but normally it's not as easy to break as some other. I disassembled my other brand's laptop, and just one time taking it apart, the connector breaks. And most components are socketed, like the RAM, the Wi-Fi, the SSD is not soldered on the board. You don't have to buy it from us. You can take your own or upgrade it. And then if you upgrade something, the parts that you got extra of, you can reuse them. Like the mainboard, you can just run by itself. You can 3D print a case and just plug in power, screen, keyboard. And because we published the interface specifications for everything, some people even made adapters for our display for the keyboard and reuse them in many creative ways. For the mainboard, we partnered with Cooler Master to just make a case for the mainboard, and you can put it behind your screen and use it like an all-in-one desktop. Let's skip this. All upgrades are compatible in both directions. So if you buy an old laptop, you can keep upgrading every generation. Or if you have a new laptop, you can put old mainboards inside there, and everything is compatible with each other.
The life cycle is 7 years.
Well, the company is only 5 years. We have no plan to change anything yet. Yeah, here's some examples of the parts. Let's skip this too. Right, another idea is open. Everything, we try to be as much open as possible. So it's your hardware, you buy it. We only make money from buying the hardware. There's no reason for us to control what software you run on it. Like Apple, they make good hardware, but you're forced to run whatever software they want you to run. Yeah, and so you can run whatever you want, but we also help you to run Linux and other open operating systems. And people think it's hard to make Linux compatible hardware, but actually, if you just care about a little bit, most vendors don't care about it, but for example, the fingerprint reader on many other systems does not work on Linux. But we just chose one that's compatible already, and then everything works out of the box. And a little bit we work with the silicon vendors like AMD, Intel to fix some bugs, and sometimes we have to do small workarounds, but it's pretty simple. LVFS is the method to update BIOS and firmware on Linux. And we release everything on there, and it's even easier to update on Linux than on Windows. You get it automatically. Yeah, for some of the components that are not the BIOS, like the camera and the touch screen, I push changes to the open source project to help us update.
So the new P6 is also pushed?
Say again?
Intel Mi P6, their cameras.
We just use a USB camera.
Oh, just there's a camera.
Yeah, that's much simpler, and it works on everything. Yeah, you can use whatever distro you want. We don't. We test a few. We have some suggestions, but we don't really care. As long as it's up to date, anything can work. Here are some projects that our customers have done. So because we publish a lot of information, people can do many different things. It may not look like it, but it's got the same mainboard inside that we have in the laptop here. And somebody put a small keyboard and screen, and it runs Ubuntu. Or somebody made a tablet. They 3D printed a case and took a Type-C touchscreen and fit it all together. And it works like a tablet. Or somebody took just the mainboard, like 8 of them, and 3D printed a cluster and just exposed the Type-C ports, and you can have a powerful data center at home. Or here, a mechanical keyboard with a mainboard inside that you just need to connect to a screen and power. People always ask us to make many different things, but we can't make everything. So we help we help people to make things. Okay, let's get back to the main topic. So we sell it in a few different ways. You can buy it just pre-built. We say you can repair it, but it's just a normal laptop. You don't have to open it up. You can throw away the screwdriver. You can buy it with Windows and give it to your mom. But you can buy DIY and assemble SSD, keyboard, and RAM yourself. You can buy them yourself. You don't have to pay us for it if you have a cheaper supplier. We don't care. We make our own hardware. That's what we make the money from. And you can buy the mainboard only. That's mainly if you want to upgrade, or you can just run the mainboard by itself. And now recently we introduced the empty chassis without any mainboard. Here, this is one of the mainboards that we sell. And then this is a different mainboard. So this laptop looks the same as my laptop, but it's got this different mainboard in it, and it looks almost the same, but it's not made by us. It's made by Deep Computing. And we didn't help them very much. They used the public specifications of our connectors. So Type-C is pretty boring. It's just you need to put it in the right location. And then we have the screen connector, camera, fingerprint keyboard, and so on. So we publish all of the information to make your own. And Deep Computing made it, and then they came to us and said we should partner and sell it together. This is one example of what we publish. So it's all of the components and how they're connected to it on our mainboard. And then Deep Computing can reference that and make their own. Here, this is the interface for the touchpad and keyboard. And yeah, Deep Computing, they just made a connector on their mainboard that does the same. And that's pretty easy because the keyboard is just GPIO, and it's controlled by the embedded controller, which we publish the source code of. So Deep Computing they reference that and implement it. Many vendors say that the firmware has secrets, that they cannot publish it because there's some secret magic. They do some very special things, but in reality, it's pretty boring. Touchpad also is very easy to make work. It's just connected with I2C to the CPU and uses HID protocol. So the kernel has a very standard module that you can compile for any architecture. So if you run RISC-V, it works without any problems. The fingerprint reader is USB, and there is a user space library and software for it. So they only had to compile it for RISC-V. And they asked me for help, but I think it was pretty easy. Display is connected with the embedded display port. So I think their SoC does not have the display port, so they had to use an DP to HDMI converter to make that work. Camera is USB, so USB is already supported for RISC-V for generic devices, and the kernel has a generic driver. For microphone, just like on our mainboard, you need a codec that connects to the CPU and has a very standard kernel driver. And Type-C, for the user, it's very simple. You just plug in Type-C, but actually in the hardware and the firmware, it's a bit more complicated because it can do so many different things. So for the charging, you need a PD controller that handles all the logic. And if you want to support display output, it's using DisplayPort alt mode. And again, for that, they need a 2 HDMI converter. And because the Intel and AMD CPUs, they have a lot of support for many different displays, but the old RISC-V chips, they don't. So only one of the ports support display output, but upcoming RISC-V chips, I think they can support much more. Yeah, in summary, it's challenging to build great hardware, but we've shown that it's possible, and that also other companies can work on at the same goal. You can find more information on our website or find all of the references that I mentioned on our GitHub. And you can find us on the 3rd floor or talk to me here afterwards.